everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I am back again with Johanna Basford's Small Victories, her newest coloring book, and my Prismacolors, and we are going to color something else in this book today. I just recently released a video where I colored this adorable little frog right here, and in the comments of that video so many of you asked me to color something else in this coloring book. I have flipped through this coloring book so many times and there are so many things that I want to color, and so it was really difficult for me to choose just one thing in this book that I wanted to color today for this video. With that being said, y'all are probably going to see me do quite a few videos coloring some things in this coloring book because I really love this coloring book. If y'all have been watching my videos for quite some time, you know that I love Johanna Basford's coloring books, especially World of Flowers. I love them for the pages inside where they have just the little small images that you can just set aside a little bit of time and color something fairly quickly, and they're great for me to be able to do tutorials on my channel, and I've used them a lot for that. So this book is like my dream coloring book in one. I absolutely love it. If you check the description box down below, you'll find links down there for everything that you see me use in this video, as well as my email list, my Facebook group, my Etsy shop, and my Patreon if you'd like to support me there. I also now have channel membership. If you would like to find more information out about that, you can click the join button down below this video. Okay, so the image that I found that I wanted to color today was this cute little mushroom here with the flowers, and we've got a few little leaves to color, and I just think it's really, really cute. I was just kind of in the mood to color a mushroom, but there's so many other things in this book that I want to color. I think I've just finally settled on this one for today. So I'm just going to share my thought process as I put some colors together for these cute little mushrooms and go about choosing the colors as I move around the image and complete it. I'm going to try to choose some colors that would be suitable for a mushroom. And I was kind of excited to use reds today. So I've got my little bin with my reds. I have some other reds laying over off to the side because I was using them for another project. I am looking over here in this section, and I think I'm going to choose some colors that would look really nice for my mushroom. Maybe some reds and some pinks, or maybe some reds that have orange in them. This crimson red is really pulling me. The crimson red and the crimson lake. I really like those colors. So I may even come over here and possibly add a little bit of Tuscan red. So I've changed it up a little bit. I actually turned off the camera and swatched out some colors so I can make sure I've got the perfect color combination for my mushrooms. Now I wanted to use reds. I am using a couple colors that have some red in them. So I've got Tuscan red, which is right here. I think that is the one I originally was going to use, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be too dark. It's going to work though, I think. Henna is the next color I chose. That's right here with the Tuscan red on the swatch chart. And then I'm going to add in some nectar. That is what the nectar looks like. And then I want to make sure I add a pop of color, even though I'm using colors that are much more muted. I'm going to go ahead and add the Deco Peach, and I think that will give it the pop that I'm looking for. The Deco Peach is right here. It's a very pretty color. So I'm going to swatch these out and I'm going to show y'all what they look like. Here is the Tuscan red, and I do suggest always swatching out your colors before you bring them to your coloring book, so that way you don't mess up and color something and then you don't like how it turns out. But this is the henna, and those look really pretty together, and to me they kind of look like mushroom colors. This is the nectar. See how all the colors are much more muted? And then I'm going to add in this pop of color with the Deco Peach, which is a gorgeous color, and hopefully we'll be able to fit all these colors in the mushroom. Okay, so I sharpened my Deco Peach because that is going to be my highlight color, and I don't have a whole lot of space here to be able to add it, and I want to make sure I get it in there. So I've got a nice sharp tip, and I'm just going to lay this color where I want my highlight to be. I think right here in this area. And then I'm just going to start blending the other colors right into it. So I have the nectar, and I'm going to start laying this color down and blending it right into the Deco Peach. And I'm going to bring this a little bit far out because I'm going to lay the other colors, or my darker colors, right over it, so this way I can get some layers down there. Let's go ahead and do this mushroom at the same time, and that way it'll make it easier for me to remember where to lay my colors and exactly how I did it. So let me go ahead and lay the nectar right over that Deco Peach and blend it into there. And then I have my henna, and I'm just going to blend it right into the nectar. These are actually really pretty colors together, and they definitely look like mushroom colors. Now I'm doing the same thing down here on this mushroom. And then I have my Tuscan red. Now this is a pretty dark color, so I'm going to try to hold my fingers back and go very lightly with this color, and I'm just going to go around the edges. But I love this color. I just don't want to go too dark quite yet, and I don't want to use all the tooth of the paper. I do want to keep it a little bit lighter, I think, down here, so I can come under here and make it darker, because I would imagine a lot less light is hitting up under here, so I want my image to reflect that. Now I'm just going around and adding a second layer. I don't want to add too much of this. I really just want to use that color to create the added extra depth. Now I have the henna, and I'm going to blend some of this into it. And I think I forgot this other mushroom, so let me go ahead and add the Tuscan red. And I'm going to add more so of the Tuscan red on this little mushroom towards the top, just like I did on the other one. And then over here on the side. And again, I want to keep it a little bit lighter here on the bottom of the mushroom so that I can make it really dark under here and show that a lot less light is hitting the under part of the mushroom. So I'm just going to alternate my colors and get a couple layers down here so that I can really work on covering that white of the paper. And I want an extra layer down here towards the bottom, but I still do want it to remain pretty light. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom mushroom. Now I have my nectar. I'm going to go over the darker colors, and I'm going to pull it down into where I have the lighter colors. And I'm not going to worry so much about going into these other little pieces on the mushroom, because I think I'm going to grab a Posca or something and just go over those, and that will end up covering all of the pencil pretty well. Okay, so I do want to keep that little spot in there for my highlight. And then I'm going to grab my Deco Peach, and I'm going to go over the highlighted area where I want to keep it lighter. And I am going to use this color to go over all the colors and bring everything together. I really like these colors together. And I'm just doing the same thing on the bottom mushroom. And by adding this lightest color over the darkest color, it is kind of lightening them up as it blends all the colors together. But I really like the blend of these colors. It's really pretty. And if you want to go back over them and make them a little bit darker, you can grab your Tuscan red and just add another layer right over that lightest color. And I'm just going to do that right here on the top of the mushroom just to darken it up a little bit, and then right over here on the side. And then I'm going to do the same thing here on the bottom mushroom. I think I now want to make this one look a little bit different, so I'm adding a little bit more over here on this side. And now I have my henna, and I'm just going to blend those colors out a little bit more. Now I have my Deco Peach. I really love how this color adds that pop of color just as I wanted it to. Oh, I really love those colors. They really look like mushroom colors. So I think I have my shades of brown for the stem. And again, I'm using more muted colors, but I do want to add that pop of color just like I did in the actual mushrooms. So the colors that I have are chocolate, which is right here, and then light umber, which is right here. And then I'm going to go into beige sienna. That is right here. And then I have beige, which is right here. So here's the beige sienna and here's the beige. And I'm going to swatch those out for you as well so you could see what they look like together. That's the chocolate. And then I've got the light umber. Those are actually pretty close. And then the beige sienna, which is my transition into this much lighter color that I wanted to use. This is beige. But I think those look really pretty together, and they are much more muted with a pop of color, just like the colors I used in the mushroom. Okay, so I sharpened my beige because I'm using it for my highlight color, but I don't want it too sharp because I want to use this color to be able to blend all my colors together and add a little bit of brightness to my stem. So I'm going to take this color and add just a little bit down here, and I think I'm going to go in with my darkest colors last, just like I did on the mushroom. Now I have my beige sienna, and I'm going to blend some of this right into that lighter color. And right here where I have this mushroom laying over the top, I'm going to make sure I get more of that right in there. And then of course I'm probably going to come back and blend my darkest colors right over that, but I think this is the perfect color for the stem of the mushroom. And then here where I have two different parts touching, I am going to come back and use my darkest colors to create a little bit of separation between those areas. But I'm just going to get some of this color down here first so that I could add a first layer, and then I'll come back with my darker colors. So now I have my light umber, and I'm going to use this color right up underneath the mushroom. And then right over here where I have this part of the stem meeting the under part of the mushroom, I'm going to add quite a bit more. And then over here I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to add a little bit of this light umber. Now remember, I do have a darker color, so I am going to come back and lay that one right over the top of these. And then here where I have these lines, I'm just going to go over them, and I'm going to do the same thing right here, and then right here, and right here. Now I have my chocolate, and I'm always really careful with this color because right now I need my lead to be very, very sharp. And this color, I have a lot of issues with it being super, super soft, but I need to be able to get into these spaces, like right in here. I want to be able to add a lot of extra depth. And now I'm going to use this color to kind of go over some of these lines. And then down here, I'm going to go along this part of the mushroom just to line it a little bit. And then over here, I really want to get in here because this is a very small space, and I would imagine a lot of light is not getting into there. And then I'm going to go up under the mushroom to create quite a bit more depth, and then down these lines. And then over here, I'm going to do the same thing and add some of this where Johanna drew those lines in. And the same thing on this mushroom. Again, I'm going to go right here up under the mushroom because I'm using this color to create the separation right here between these two spaces, and underneath this part of the mushroom, and then right over here, and then up under the mushroom here. Okay, so right here where I have one mushroom laying over the other, I'm going to line the outside right here, and then I'm going to pull this color right down over here where I have the flowers laying over the stem of the mushroom and this other mushroom laying over the stem. And I really want to get this color down here just to separate these pieces and to show that this mushroom here is laying over this one. Then I'm going to use this color to very lightly go up and down this line just to create a little bit of depth here and to make the stem of the mushroom really stand out. Right here where I have this leaf, I want to do the same thing. And then right here where I have this little mushroom laying over the top part of the stem on this mushroom, I'm going to add quite a bit of color in there. And then I'm going to do the same thing down the side of the stem of the mushroom on this side. Now I have the beige sienna, and I'm just going to blend some of this out. And I'm leaving a little bit of space because I do want to come in with my beige, which is even lighter, because I don't want these to be too dark. Well, I want them to be dark, but I still want to be able to see that pop of color. So now I have my beige, and I'm going to blend everything out and bring all the colors together. And I'm going to get up under the mushroom here, do the same thing, and then over here. I really like these color choices. Now I'm just using the chocolate to go over this space one more time, and then right here to create a little bit more of a separation. And then I'm going up and down the side of this stem, and then adding a little bit more color right here where all of these pieces are laying over one another. You're using your colored pencils. It's all about layers. If you want to create more depth, you just keep adding layers of your darkest color. And then I'm just going to take my lightest color and blend it out a little bit more. After you add all your layers, you probably just want to use a brush or something and take all those little crumbs off, because you don't want your crumbs spreading out to the other parts of the image that you have not yet colored. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a little trick to add quite a bit more depth. Over here where I've used these colors that have a lot of red in them, I'm going to grab the chocolate that I used down here in the stems, and I am going to go over the outer edge. I'm holding my pencil at the side, and I'm just going to go over this and blend some of this into that Tuscan red, and it's going to make a gorgeous blend of those colors, but it's also going to darken everything up quite a bit more. And then I'm going to go down here and do the same thing on the other mushroom, and that just added quite a bit more shading. And if I wanted to take my Tuscan red and go back over it just to blend it in a little bit more, I could do that as well. And I like to make sure that I have covered all the white of the paper with my colors. Okay, so I grabbed my color wheel. If you watched my last video where I colored that cute little adorable frog, I did use my color wheel in that video to show you how to choose complementary colors. So I'm going to do that again. And if I match up the colors in my mushroom to the colors on my color wheel, I'm right up in here, it looks like. So if I go directly across to the complementary colors, I'm at yellow greens. So for my leaves, I'm definitely going to use yellow greens. But for my flowers here and down here, I think that I want to make them pink so they kind of maybe blend in with the mushroom. And then all of the green leaves will really stand out and be very contrasting from everything else. So for my flowers, I'm going to go just one over, and I'm going to try to choose something that is right up in here. I'm really liking the process red, and I think I want to use the process red with maybe hot pink. So process red, hot pink, and then I want to go super light, so I think I'm going to go blush pink. Let's see how those look together. Process red, hot pink, blush pink. So there's the process red, and then hot pink with blush pink. I think those are pretty. Okay, so I have my blush pink, and I'm just going to lay some of this here in the flowers. And I'm going to try to get these done fairly quickly so that we can move on to the leaves. Now I have my hot pink, and I'm going to add some of this, and I'm going to try to use this to create a little bit of separation in between these leaves. And I'm trying to just lay this color on one side. I don't know that my tip of my pencil is sharp enough to be doing this. These spaces are so small, but it seems to be working. Now I have my process red, and I'm going to lay this color right along each one of the lines and each one of these petals. I'm just actually going over the hot pink and adding another layer. Now I'm going to do the same thing on my last flower. And now I'm going to grab the blush pink, and I'm going to spread those colors out and bring them all together. So I'm just using this color to go over everything. Oh, these colors are so pretty together. I don't know, I might need one more color, but I think those are kind of pretty. And I think it looks really nice with the colors I used in the mushroom. Let me add a little bit more here of the process red. See if I can maybe just get another layer down and separate some of these petals here. I might need a darker color to get the look that I'm going for here. I've decided to grab my Tuscan red that I used here in the mushrooms, and I'm going to add a little bit of this right over my darkest color to change them up a little bit and add a little bit more depth. This color definitely made the difference I wanted it to. And this is really helping these flowers to blend in with the mushrooms. So now I'm just going to take my hot pink and I'm going to blend it out, going right over those other colors. Okay, so I started coloring and I thought the camera was on, and it was not. So what I'm doing here for these flowers is I want them to be pink like these, but I took one of the colors and I swapped it out. I have Deco Pink instead of the blush pink, and the Deco Pink is just a little bit lighter. So the Deco Pink is right here and the blush pink is right here. So I'm just going a little bit lighter, so I have a little bit more of a pop of color in these. So I just went all around every single petal. I added in my lightest color, the Deco Pink, and then I took my hot pink and I added it towards the outside. Anywhere I have one petal laying over another petal, I added this color in there and blended it right into the Deco Pink. Now right here where I have this petal going right over the other one, I'm going to add a lot more of my darker shade in there. Now I have my process red. I am going to add this color right over my mid-tone and add another layer. But these are fairly small. They should be a fairly quick color, but we're just going to focus on layers, layers, layers. I'm just going to add a little bit of this darker color here in the center and maybe a little right here on the top just to change it up a little bit. Now I have my hot pink and I'm just going to pull that color in on each one of the petals, blend the colors together. And I'm going to grab my Deco Pink and pull the colors all the way over into the areas where I don't have a whole lot of color yet. I think I'm going to go ahead again and add my Tuscan red just to add a little bit of depth and create that separation. over here where I've got this petal laying over the other one, I'm going to have quite a bit more here. And then here where I have the lines that Johanna drew in for us, I'm just going to do what I like to do on a lot of the flowers that are in Johanna's coloring books. And I like to add a little bit of depth just by lining these little lines. I think it makes such a big difference when coloring her flowers. It makes them look just a little bit more realistic. So now I feel like I can take my hot pink and blend some of these colors in. And then I'm going to use my Deco Pink one last time and just go over all the colors. And I think those are super pretty. And I left a little bit of the white of the paper so that they stand out just a little bit more. That's another trick you can use. Okay, so now we need to color in the leaves, and I think I'm going to pretty much do the same color for all of the leaves. And as I showed you before, we have the colors of our mushrooms line up right here on the color wheel. If I turn the color wheel right here, it tells us the complementary color is yellow greens. So we are going to grab our swatch chart and we are going to pick some yellow greens, and I really want to use a color that pops a whole lot, so I might want to add some yellow to this. In my last video I used the yellow chartreuse, so I think for this one I'm going to find my neon yellow and I'm going to use that. The neon yellow is right here, so it's really bright, so we're going to add some greens in with that. I think since I've used some more muted colors, at least in the mushrooms, I think that I want to use maybe the lime peel and the moss green. I think those would be pretty together. Okay, so I just looked everywhere for my moss green and I cannot find it. So I grabbed two other colors. I have the olive green and the kelp green. The olive green is here and the kelp green is here. So the kelp green is a little darker than the olive green. I'm going to start with the olive green and I'll grab the kelp green if I feel like I need it. But I swatched the colors out and here's what they look like together. So they're really pretty together, and that neon yellow really pops. So I think I'm going to start with these over here, and I'm going to actually start with my darkest color and go a little bit backwards from what I usually do, and then I'm going to blend the other colors into it. I'm going to go right here up along the stem, and right here where the mushroom is laying over this leaf, I'm going to make this one a little bit darker. So now I have the lime peel, and I'm going to blend some of this color into the olive green. Oh, those are pretty together. Oh, that makes such a huge difference with the two different undertones from the two different colors. So pretty. I can't wait to see what happens once I add that neon yellow. Yeah, I'm going to try really hard not to go into the centers here because I want to add that pop of neon yellow in there and I really want it to stand out. But I want to get enough layers down here so that the colors blend together nicely. Okay, so here's our neon yellow. And we're just going to go over everything with this color and blend it in here. And I feel like by doing it backwards, this color blends in a lot better than it would had if I had used my lightest color first. Because sometimes the neon yellow is a little bit harder to blend into the other colors just because it's so bright and vibrant. So now I'm going to use my olive green again, and I am just going to use this to create some depth. And I'm going to go over and do this really quickly. So now I'm adding in some more of my lime peel and blending those colors together. And then I am one more time going to use my neon yellow and really intensify that pop of color. Oh, that is super pretty, and look how those colors really stand off of one another. Now I'm going to come through and just color the rest of them using the same colors. I will stop and let you know if I do add my darker color, but I really don't think I'm going to need it. I think I really like how the olive green looks. So I'm going to come through and finish all of the leaves. I'm going to set it to music because I've already been filming for quite a long time. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with all of these little dots on top of the mushrooms and then the tops of these flowers here. And then I'm going to finish off these flowers here as well. Okay, so we are ready to finish the rest off. What I've decided is because I added the neon yellow in all of the leaves, I'm gonna take the yellow and I'm gonna bring it outward to create some balance all throughout the entire image. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make all of these little pieces on the mushrooms yellow. I'm going to make all of these yellow, and the center of these flowers, those are gonna be yellow as well. So what I'm gonna do is I have this set of Poscas here. I'm gonna go through and I'm going to make all of these pieces yellow. And then after that, I'm going to add my favorite stickles. These are Sunburst and they're beautiful. I'm gonna go through here and color all of these yellow, and hopefully this will get rid of most of that black line there. And I might have to go over it a second time, I don't know yet, but I think out of that pack of Poscas that I have, the yellow and the white I use the most. I love this yellow Posca. I really need to get some other colors. I love using my Posca pens. They cover the black lines better than gel pens do. And if you were following this tutorial and you wanted to go around and cover all of the black lines, you could always use your white Posca and cover all of the lines, and it would really make the image stand out. I'm not going to do it in this video because I feel like I've already been filming for close to 2 hours. It takes a lot longer to color when you're trying to explain everything you're doing, and I feel like this was a little bit of a bigger image that I chose, but I really enjoyed coloring this. I think the yellow looks really nice because it spreads that yellow out to other parts of the image and it creates the extra balance. And then this is going to help to cover those black lines, and then I'll be able to go over them with the stickles and they will really shine. I think that's going to be really pretty. And then I'm going to do the same thing here for the center of these flowers. I love having yellow centers to my flowers, and these here, I'm just going to dot them. I still want them to look like dots, so if I get rid of the black lines, they will no longer look like dots. It will just look like a bunch of yellow at the top of the flowers, and I don't feel like that will look right. So we are just dotting these, and it's quick and simple. But look how cool that looks. So now we're gonna go over them with stickles. I need to wait for them to dry just a little bit. But I love how all the colors have come together. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I am loving this coloring book. I think for these, I actually need to go over them one more time. The Posca will get rid of your black lines. You just probably, maybe sometimes have to go over them 2 or 3 times. Go ahead and start laying the stickles. I'll start up here since I didn't add as much Posca. I had to go grab another bottle of the Sunburst because those were dried up for some reason. I have to put a little toothpick or something through the hole to see if I could release the dried up stickles. I really need to order more stickles because some of mine are so old that they are getting dried out, but these last such a long time. I've had my stickles for more than 3 years. So considering how long I've had them, they actually stay good for quite a long time. So I'm just adding a dot of glitter on each one of these. Gonna dot it and then pull up. And then the stickles do take a little while to dry. So after you use your stickles, lay your book open for a little while. I have found with this particular book, I'm able to lay it very flat because it is sewn, but it does also close a lot easier because the book is so small. So I usually lay something on top of it while I'm waiting for the stickles to dry. But I really love that. That is so pretty. And this one did take me a little while to color, but the leaves were a whole lot quicker because I set those to music. But when I'm trying to explain everything I'm doing and actually doing a tutorial, it does take me longer. If I was just sitting and coloring this on my own and not talking through it, I would color it a whole lot quicker. But I love how this turned out. Look how pretty that is. I love how all the colors came together. Again, just like in my last video, we used the color wheel to find colors that would be contrasting from one another. I think the greens look really beautiful with these other shades that I used. I love the colors that I chose for the mushroom, and I know in my last video that I used greens with shades of like purpley pinks. This one is a little bit different, but still contrasting. So maybe in the next video, I can do something with much different colors and we can see what some other contrasting colors look like on one of these images. I feel like on all of these little images, using complementary colors that are really contrasting from one another really brings them together, and it just looks really beautiful. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, let me know in the comments below what you would like to see me color next. I want to color a few things in this coloring book. I'm really enjoying it. So if you have something or several people name a certain something in this coloring book you want me to color, I will color that next. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Happy coloring. Bye.